Sonoma.
And of course, Tim.
It's Tim Zonner with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau, and a quick reminder that this is streaming live on YouTube as it's a public meeting.
Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order with a quorum present, and there are no public comment that I know of at this time. So we're going to go to the consent items. There are no consent items at this time. So Dan Parks, we're going to turn it over to you for a financial report.
Okay, as always, my financial report is always somewhat delayed because we do get nice cooperation from the city, but they're reporting what they collected last month, which was March, which was for stays in February. And so that jumped up to almost $17,000 in February, which compares to $36,300 and some the year before. But we're definitely moving the right direction. If we remember, the receipts for January were less than $5,000. And I think all of us know that March is going to be better, and we're definitely moving in the right direction. I don't know what else I can add to that, but
Dan, what do we have in the bank at this time?
I didn't check. Let me take a look while we proceed, and I'll before the end of the meeting, I'll have that for you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on Dan's report?
Norm, I just had a comment that Chris from the Lodge has joined us. So I just want to make sure that's noted.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Norm?
Absolutely, equally as well. Chris, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody while you're here?
Hi, everyone. I think I know everyone on the call. My name is Chris Wengerberg. I'm the general manager at the Lodge.
Okay, welcome to our call. And we're going to go into the marketing report now from Tim.
Yep. So good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. And Chris, as I drive by in the morning, good to see all the construction going on. Yeah, and the landscape's been changed, so it looks good out there. As we discussed last time, we were, look at the notes. It seems like we always seem to be about to move into a new tier or moving into a new tier every one of these meetings. So Norm, as we were talking about, we've moved into the orange tier. I believe that's effective immediately. If anyone knows otherwise, let me know. And I was hoping we could talk to the city to find out a little more about that. But my understanding is that restaurants can open up with more indoor capacity. I believe wine tasting, we can move some indoors. I'm trying to find out that from Maureen Cottingham, who's been actually tracking that because they changed the winery and brewery rules in the tiers from previous. So basically we're trending in the right direction. And that's actually good news. And I think we're seeing that, in fact, that we're seeing more people on the plaza and more reservations and more people coming up. I was talking to Hunt yesterday and he had to go because he had a tour to get out. So that was actually good news. Hunt, it's been a while since we've been to that point. So we've done a few things. Marketing, as we discussed last time, we weren't going to spend a lot of our dollars right now since there's pent up demand and we don't have as much money as we normally would have. As Dan mentions, we collect the money from previous years and then spend it. So we want to be pretty smart in how we're going to spend our dollars, especially moving forward when demand drops and then competition comes up from other places. But we still had a little bit left from Travel Zoo. We had paid for a campaign in November when we were going to launch it and we turned it off. So we turned that back on and we're seeing a lot of people coming back to our website. They're especially interested in deals and offers, which seems to be where a lot of people are going. So that's a big thing. We've continued to use a lot of live streams. Hopefully some of you tuned into the fashion live stream, the Sonoma fashion live stream. It again featured the Bailey family. This time Katie Bailey and Hunt's sister were on there talking about what is fashion in Sonoma and then talking about the Trash and Fashion show. And live streams have shown to be pretty effective ways to get content and information and people's eyeballs on Sonoma Valley. And so even though we're all living in our rectangles now, we're able to use that to get more information out there to consumers, and people ask questions, which is really good. In the visitor center, we are seeing a lot of people coming up and asking questions. And in the plaza, it's good to see both businesses are coming up to drop off new collateral, which is a sign of hope because they put stuff on paper and that's permanent. And we're also seeing a lot of families and people walking around. Majority are from California, but we're seeing a few people from further afield. So that's good news. And I can always look at the bikes that are coming up from the different hotels, right? So the Lodge and different places, which means people are out there doing stuff. So overall, Norman, we're and TID board, we are confident that things are slowly coming back, but we're not going to be spending a lot of our money now because we want to be able to use that when we need it, when there's not pent up demand. Excuse me. And happy to answer any questions people have.
Are there any comments or questions for Tim?
Yeah, Tim, I actually probably should know this answer, but I don't. Are you seeing a difference in foot traffic versus web traffic? Are we seeing a significant increase in web traffic at the Visitors Bureau?
It's a good point. We are, some of that I can attribute to because we did turn back on a little bit of marketing, but our web traffic was up 37% last week over the previous week, which shows that people are searching. And we call that signals of intent to travel, which is kind of a dorky word, but it's basically when people either go to our website or they email us and ask us a question, or they request information from us, whether they sign up for the email campaigns or they ask for a visitor guide. And all of those are skewing up. And I'll have to go back and look at the total percentages. Google, is a lot easier to find the web analytics, but everything's going up, which is good, which means people are in the planning stages and the desire to travel stages.
Okay.
So short answer, yes.
This is a side note, but is the Visitors Bureau promoting like plan in advance? Are we preaching that message as opposed to just show up and hope it works out?
No, yeah, we're telling people to make reservations, et cetera, and come here. And then really hunt, because the just show up people, yeah, they're out, they're coming. And I know for hotels, you guys are probably going nuts trying to figure out staffing and stuff like that. I know when I do sometimes text the different hotels and I say, how you doing? And Chris will say, oh, okay, like right now we're at 60%, but in an hour we might be at 70 or 80%. And it just seems to change so fast. And that's like on a Friday. And Chris, I made those numbers up, so I'm not giving you any trade secrets, okay? But we are also trying to talk eventually to these meeting planners and the people that are planning out further. So brides, people that will represent groups, they're slowly starting to come back. And I think as soon as we get the okay that we can have meetings again, that's where we can start going after. So and I think that's the green tier. If anyone knows otherwise, let me know.
This is Lydia. If I can just chime in, there was some new information released pertaining to meetings. And I know our team, we're trying to parse through it because of course there's some gray areas and what that means in terms of how many people can congregate. And if so, how does food and beverage interact if you need to be masked? So we're sort of doing a little due diligence to figure out how to best interpret those. But we're certainly seeing some increased demand in meetings on the smaller side. So maybe we'll share out if I find any good resources, and same for the team, because that seems to be the toughest area to understand how we can best proceed.
Perfect. Thank you, Liddy. I appreciate that. And just to let you know, Norman, after my report, it looks like Dave Kiff has been able to jump on the call as well. So everything is proceeding apace. This is fantastic.
Okay. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Good. Sorry to be late. I had
No.
other things going on this morning, but happy to be here now. I apologize, though.
I'm sure you do. Why don't you reintroduce yourself to the group, Dave?
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Kiff, interim city manager in the city of Sonoma.
And would you believe it? You're next up on the agenda. Your timing is absolutely perfect.
Okay.
And we have lots of questions we want to ask you, but why don't you tell us what's going on from as much as you know from the governor?
Sure. So we're certainly excited to be in the orange tier. We saw the governor's intent to take away the tier system within 2 months. So by June 15th. And as we understand it, we were just talking with Dr. Mays about this morning because we were asking her how she reads that. And we're all flying blind just a little bit here because I don't think Dr. Mays has a good awareness of what that looks like. So far, it looks like basically, you know, quote unquote, back to the new normal, but potentially still in large group settings, there'd be some type of mask mandate. That's as much as I know. We do think, we asked Dr. Mays a bit more about what are the, you know, whether there is a small little increase in cases going on here and why. She didn't seem that concerned about it. She said it's anecdotally, the population group is kind of the folks between say 18 and 50. So not in the vaccination base yet, but they will be next week on the 16th. And then, and also not a lot of health threat typically to that population, but it's still a little bit concerning. We asked her about variants. She said, we really haven't seen that in Sonoma County yet, if we will. Certainly the county is very proud of how many people have been vaccinated. And it is pretty remarkable for one county to have gotten, I think 60% of folks have at least one shot and 30% are fully vaccinated. And that's a lot for a small county like ours. So, you know, kudos to them.
Especially after a slow start.
Yeah, kudos to them for really pushing that out hard, and including folks in the Valley. And so all that's been good. And I'm jumping around a little bit subject matter wise. At the council's meeting on next Monday night, not this coming one, but the 19th, we'll be talking about economic development post-COVID and potentially keeping the parklet program going for a longer period of time. If you folks want to weigh in on that, please do shoot an email to the whole city council. It's citycouncil@sonomacity.org. And whether you think that's a good thing or not a good thing, the council will want to hear from you about that and just how that works.
And just to confirm, Dave, I'm sorry, you said April 19th?
April 19th, sorry.
Thank you.
Monday night, the 19th, and the
Okay.
staff report will be out the Wednesday before.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's what I know so far.
That's a lot more than we all know, and we thank you. Guys, do we have any questions? We'll start with you, Chris. Do you have any questions that you think Dave may assist you with?
No, I think I'm good. Just excited for the Tuesday night farmers market start.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question. I'm all in favor of the parklets. I love them. I know one of the complaints is from the retail side of things, you know, lack of parking. Have we, and I could be just missed this, but have we negotiated a contract with the state for that barracks parking lot yet? Is it all locked down, or are we still kind of?
Not to my knowledge, but that has come up and came up. I know it's came up previously, but it's come up again. Yeah, maybe others on the call know more than I do about it. Tim's raising.
Yeah, just real quick. And Dave, you know, inherited that as the interim there. But Hunt, lucky guy. I don't think there's a final contract signed, but there seems to be a de facto disagreement that the city puts people parking back there because there's signs pointing people back there. And I'm starting to see people back there. It's not as full. I'm parking back there now, which is a good thing, right? It used to be there's plenty of parking in the plaza, so I'm happy there's not. But I'm not seeing any problem with anybody overflow parking or any buses or anything like that. So it seems the state, since the mission's not even open right now, they're not really there. I've only seen them back there once or twice. The state vehicles. So it looks clean, and it's otherwise it's a couple kids showing off their trucks and a bunch of bocce players. So.
But I do think we need to make sure that is nailed down for the indefinite future, because it's just going to get busier here. I think every weekend almost exponentially. Yeah,
and Dave, this is where you and I will talk separately about maybe some parking sign enhancements that I might do under cover of night.
Okay.
Wendy, did you, or Liddy, either of you have anything you wanted to ask Dave while we have him here?
I was just curious about the selection process that is, I think, going on now. Where are you in that, and what can you tell us about that?
So the council got about 35 applicants for city manager. They've winnowed it down to 8, and they're going to interview the 8 in closed session. This is always a closed session. It's held fairly close to the vest to protect people who have current jobs. I think it's going to be Saturday, May 1st. And then they'll take that down, and then another 2 weeks from the 8, it'll go down to 2 or 3. And then that will be the second interview process. And then they do have good candidates. It's a nice list. So I was happy with it. And I think the community will be too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Lady?
No questions, thank you.
Dan?
Oh, I can. No question.
You got off easy today, Dave.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
And
really.
if I jump off before I do, you guys have the numbers latest or no, Tim saying no.
No, I don't have the TOT numbers. Maybe we should email
Okay.
Ryan or if.
Yeah, I'll shoot them over to you.
Okay, great.
You know, the February numbers were better than we thought. Coming, and the March numbers a little better than we projected, and I'll send those over to Tim.
Great.
You know,
thank
it's not dramatic, but it's certainly better than a swift kick in the behind. Yeah,
I'm imagining that the April numbers are going to be strong.
I think so
I
too.
think what everyone's seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you, Dave, for your time. I hope you can
Welcome.
stay a little longer. The meeting's going to be brief today.
Okay.
Are there any other comments on with Dave before we go to the next item? The next item is I'd like to have a motion to officially approve Liddy as the replacement to Ruben.
Oh, I think we did that. I'm sorry, Norman. Did I have an error in the agenda? That was last.
I thought we did already.
I apologize if I
Oh, okay, then we don't have to do that.
we can double approve.
Because I've been talking to Liddy as a board member all the way.
My apologies.
No problem. Okay, then the next item would be the approval of the March 11th meeting minutes. Can I have a motion for the approval?
So
Please.
moved.
Is there a second?
I
Second.
second.
Okay, is there any comments or questions on the minutes? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The minutes have been unanimously approved. Does any member of the board have an additional agenda item that they would like to discuss or recommend an agenda item for the next board meeting? Hearing none, I would ask then Dan, did you get that number for the balance we have in the bank as of today?
Yes, our bank balances are in the regular account, $165,000 roughly, and in our emergency account, another 50. So this is obviously way down from previous years, but we're coming back.
Oh, okay.
We
So
are.
I think April will be, as somebody mentioned, I think much stronger. We'll start to get back on an even keel again, and we'll be able to do some serious budget work. But I just don't think it's worth getting into budgets now before we know a little more.
Okay, well, we thank you for your report. And I'd like to call, I'm getting old. Did I ask for the meeting to be adjourned or not?
Not yet. It's the last
Not
thing.
yet. Okay, then I'm gonna ask for it now. Can I have a motion for the meeting to be adjourned? Nobody wants to leave.
I'll move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Bye.
The meeting is officially adjourned. I